had that dream again. My small business needs to hire, but I don't use LinkedIn, and I hire wrong. So then I'm doing IT, and when I go to plug the servers in, they become sentient, and they won't let us access our network unless we forward their chain emails and memes to more and more and more people, and then I wake up.
Don't let hiring nightmares ruin your dreams. LinkedIn Jobs' new AI assistant finds and invites best fit candidates to apply, so you can discover talent you may have missed. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/quality. Start hiring today with LinkedIn.
Oh, it's such a clutch off-season pickup, Dave.
I was worried we'd bring back the same team.
I meant those blackout motorized shades.
Blinds.com made it crazy affordable to replace our old blinds.
Hard to install?
No, it's easy. I installed these and then got some for my mom. She talked to a design consultant for free and scheduled a professional measure and install.
Hall of Fame son.
They're the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings in the world.
Blinds.com is the GOAT.
Visit Blinds.com now for up to 45% off with minimum purchase plus a free professional measure. Rules and restrictions apply.
The Kid LAROI, A Perfect World. Let's talk about it. How y'all doing? Welcome to Let's Talk About It Music Reviews Season 12. How y'all doing? Welcome to the show. Guys, we got a pretty good episode for you today. We got the Kid LAROI, and we're continuing our coverage talking about this new album. Before I forget, this album has been such a great-ass experience listening to it. You know, my first listen of the whole entire album, you know, I had some thoughts about it. And then I also stayed up another fucking all-nighter, and I ended up checking out this album around kind of the 2 a.m., 3 a.m. mark, and I went through it all the way again. We will be talking about this album soon, but I want to talk about one of my favorite tracks off this whole entire album is this song right here. We got A Perfect World by the Kid LAROI. Let's just get into it, because there's something that I love about this album, is that the sounds of this album, you know, the instrumentals, from the beats, you know, all the way from the production alone. This is what I love about the Kid LAROI, and this is what I love about R&B type like music. You know, imagine, you know, you're going down, you're driving down somewhere, you know, you're maybe picking up something, maybe you're going fucking grocery shopping, and you got this song that's playing in the radio. You know, you got this instrumental fucking playing, because that's how good it goddamn sounds. So let's just get into this. A Perfect World. Let's start off talking about the beat. First of all, you know, my favorite genre of music, y'all know this, is R&B. And when you can have R&B elements so fucking pronounced, so fucking well done, that I'm like, damn, man's doing better than fucking R&B artists that I've covered on this show. Like, fuck, you know, any other type of R&B in the 2025 that I listened to, you know, it did not have instrumental depth like this, you know, because going from the verse, from the hook, even the second line from the hook, you know, you hear that little boom of piano, you hear that boom of that synth, you hear that boom of that R&B like sample, you know, that just sounds so fucking fantastic on here. You know, there's those different little wave points that just happen, you know, boom here, boom here, boom here. This instrumental has so much going on with it, has so much life into it, and that's kind of how I feel, you know, about this song right here. You know, A Perfect World really encapsulates that, in my opinion. So I love this instrumental, I love the piano, I love the R&B like piano, it just sounds fucking fantastic. You know, I love all the synths, you know, I like how, you know, as the instrumental goes on, the drums sound fucking fantastic. The 808s are like, it's not like the 808s like a trappy, you know, the 808s, the bass actually has some fucking love to it, poured into it. So that's also got some switch ups going for it on its own, which I really do enjoy. So you definitely got that. And also the fact too, you know, listening to this song, one of the things that I just love about it is that you hear that little chime. You know, you hear these little bells, these little chimes that just kind of like rise up every fucking time, you know, there's a line off the hook, you know, that comes in, you know, a line off, you know, maybe a verse, you know, maybe he's holding out a note or something, and then you hear that little bing, and you're like, holy shit. And it just sounds fantastic on this whole entire damn song. So I really overall enjoy that. And, you know, my experience of this whole entire song is that I fell in love with this instrumental. This instrumental sounds so fucking good, so fantastic. Even just the way this instrumental ends, the way the drums can roll, I mean, everything about this is so, like, alive. The instrumentation is so fucking alive. Sounds goddamn fantastic. Beautiful, beautiful instrumental. Like, there's not much more I can say about it. All I can say about it is that it is probably one of my more favorite, the Kid LAROI instrumentals that I've heard in quite a while. And I'm not even going to say quite a while, because the Kid LAROI drops really good music anyways. But, like, man, this shit sounds fucking fantastic. I remember the Kid LAROI had some song where, it was kind of that R&B, like, instrumental, but, like, he was doing, like, these, like, really high-pitched, like, really, really high-pitched vocals that I just weren't really, like, connecting with. I wasn't really having a good time listening to it. It's alright if you were, like, liking that sound, but this is what I'm talking about right here. And, going from the instrumental aside, I just need to say something. I don't know how the fuck the Kid LAROI has embodied fucking MJ, has embodied some R&B artists, because this man, whatever, the breakup, I feel really bad for him for this breakup. It's really sad to go through that type of shit. But also, holy shit, when you go through something, guys, you make some of the best fucking music that you can make in your whole entire life. And, man, this is probably one of those goddamn examples, because, man, the vocals alone from the Kid LAROI here are just beautiful. The singing is so fucking good. And we'll just talk about the hook, because the hook is in the beginning, which it should be, because the hook is that goddamn perfect. I really love the singing on the vocals on the hook. It just sounds so good. The slight vocal switch-ups that happen, the vocal runways, the vocal holding out the notes. It just all sounds so fucking fantastic to listen to. Sounds so fucking good when you're listening to it. Just like, damn. damn, it fucking sounds fantastic. And then you have a whole entire vocal switch up for the beginning verse. And I like that beginning verse. That beginning verse has a really nice flow. He's fucking flowing on here too. That vocal switch up too with the second verse. I mean, god damn, he was just sounding so good on here. The way he could just play around with his vocals and actually, switch it up here, switch it up here, switch it up here. And, keep the same quality, keep the same fucking vibes going. It's a hard skill to do sometimes. And this is what I'm saying, when somebody can do switch-ups right versus somebody who can't do these switch-ups right. So I really overall enjoy that, in my opinion. And, also, I really love the fact that, the hook has moments where these background vocals come in. They capulate your ears. They really take over the whole entire show. It's just really fantastic to hear. I don't really hear, pop music or even, pop or R&B music really sound like this anymore. The instrumentals don't really feel this alive. Beats don't really feel this alive. The hooks don't feel this addicting to listen to. I get addicted, listening to the fucking hook because the hook is that fantastic. It's just like, man, you really do not get this type of music anymore. And I really love the fact that the Kid LAROI.
Why do growing businesses love working in Slack? Let's ask Christy at RE Bikes.
Running things in Slack saves me so much time.
AI summaries save 97 minutes per week. What say you, Rox from Gosney?
Slack helps us build community, it helps us build connection.
Your partners, vendors and customers all in one place. Take us on home, Ashley from Caraway.
If we didn't have Slack tomorrow, I would explode.
Well, let's not let that happen. Visit slack.com/podcast to get 50% off Slack Business Plus.
Somehow is embodying some like MJ vibes. Whatever he's embodying, it's fucking working. It's sounding fantastic. I mean, this is better than Crying in the Rain music right here. This is fucking fantastic. So, overall, when we talk about the Kid LAROI, A Perfect World, that instrumental is so fucking beautiful. Going from the keys to the synths to the chords. I mean, even the little slight, like, effects, the slight little drum rolls, the slight little, chimes, the slight little bells, that just adds so much to the instrumental. The vibes are just fully goddamn there, and this is probably one of my favorite songs off the album. I'm going to have multiple favorites. I still need to, listen to this album again and again and again to find out what's, more of my favorites. But so far, right here, A Perfect World is one of my favorites off this album. So far, one of my favorite, the new Kid LAROI songs. I've had some favorite the Kid LAROI songs for quite a while, just kind of in my music. My personal playlist, I've had a couple of the Kid LAROI songs on there because he's just that goddamn fire. But, this is one where I would definitely add to my personal playlist. I probably will tonight. I'll probably just fucking add it, right after I do this review. And the wind's blowing really hard, so I better just tell my goddamn score. Overall, I'm going to have to give this song a 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10, guys. What y'all think about it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? I don't know. Let me know. If you're on YouTube, Spotify, Pandora, or wherever you get your podcast at, make sure you follow, turn on notifications, guys. We're dropping new content every single day. And we're continuing our coverage of the new Kid LAROI's album before I forget. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast episode, guys. I'm also thinking, I've looked through, the new Music Friday. I've seen kind of nothing, other than Bruno Mars and the Kid LAROI, which were obviously doing those things. So I'm thinking we're going to do some variety content this week, So get ready for that. We got more of the Kid LAROI coverage coming out very soon. We're also going to have some variety stuff. All right, guys. Bye.